And drop the hands to the side. Wiggle the fingers. Make a fist and release. Again and release. And just notice how the tension goes. Many times if you're feeling stress in any part of your body, whether it's your hands or your feet or your back, if you can tense the muscles up and then release them. This even works when you're upset. If you've got something that's really bothering you, if you bring everything real tight and then just let it go, it helps to release negative emotions as well. So if that needs to be part of the practice today, please feel free to incorporate it. Take a big inhale and bring the hands overhead. Bring the gaze up and bring the hands together. Exhale and bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, come back to cactus arms. Bring the chest forward. Exhale, bring the hands back together and bring chest forward. Feel free to spread the knees a little bit if you want to come down a little bit further. Drop the hands to the floor. Drop the top of the head towards the mat. And just hang out here for a second. Inhale, back up to seated position. One more time, exhale. Inhale, hands overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, cactus arms and back. Exhale, all the way forward. Rolling back up. Bring the hands up to goddess pose. Notice where the elbows are. We want the elbows to be right straight out from the shoulders. Inhale the arms together. Exhale them out. Inhale together. Exhale out. One more time. Inhale together. And exhale out and down. Grab a hold of your chair and push yourself out to the edge of the chair where you're comfortable and balanced. Get the bones right against the seat. Look down at the feet. We want them to be flat. Have the knees right over the ankles. Bring your arms up to goddess pose again. And this time rotate around to the right. Keep an eye on those knees. With the knees to stay forward. And the shoulders are going to rotate. And back to the center. Inhale to the side. Exhale back to the center. One more time. Inhale to the right. And back to center. To the left. Inhale. And back to center. Bring the arms down and shake them out. Inhale the arms back. Exhale them up. Inhale and back. Exhale up. Big inhale and back. And shoot the air out. Good. Bring the arms down. Now feel free to use your block if you need to for a little extra couple inches. I'm going to reach down with the right hand to the floor or to your block and bring the left hand up and overhead. Bring your gaze along with it. This time we're taking the twist a little bit lower down the spine. And come back up. And again, right hand down. And feel free to, if the shoulders are giving you any fits, you can stop here. This still works. But if it's in your practice today, feel free to bring the arm up all the way overhead. And back up to center. Bring that block around to the other side if necessary. Start in your neutral position. Down to the left, right arm comes up. And back up to center. Left arm down, right arm up. And back to center. Move the block to one side. Bring your attention down to your feet. We're going to start at the bottom and kind of work our way up to get the circulation going. So bring the toes out and spread them. Grab a hold of the mat with the toes. And I'm going to ask you to lift the right heel up and then the left. And alternate right and left, and try and do it slowly. That's the whole purpose of this. Really waking up those calf muscles and the feet muscles. Everything kind of slow. And when you're done with the left one, do both the feet at once. That's done. Now we're going to grab a hold of the chair, bring the feet out in front of you a little bit. Same motions. Now we're going to come up on the right foot and notice the different muscles that are being engaged, and then the left foot. So this is going to feel different than when the feet are right below you. You feel the difference in the front of the foot? And now bring them back behind your knees. You may need to adjust the seat a little bit. And again, right. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. Come back out to the front. We didn't do both of them at once. So both feet up at once. Both heels up and down and up and down. I think my old muscles that are used to wearing high heels from the old days are acting up right now. It's similar to what I used to do all day long. Okay, and take the heels back. And now we're going to do the right. And doesn't that feel totally different than when your feet are out in front? Now the back of the foot's more engaged. And does anybody have any tension they need to get rid of today? Tension? Okay, good. All right, I got something for you here coming up. Both feet at once. Okay, here we come to our anti-tension moves. I'm going to have you put both the feet back in the center position so they're right under the knees, and we're going to tap the feet. Stop and hook them together. Sure, separate.
Nasty nerve.
Yeah, you talk to your
Takes 20 minutes of this.
Yeah, and you'll be good, yeah. And take it out to the front where we were before. Now we're gonna do both feet. And now both feet together. You're hanging on to that chair. It does, doesn't it? And you bring it back. And we're gonna do the same thing back here. Alternate. And now both feet together. Chris is getting creative here. We're going to be doing that. What's that Irish dance?
River dancing.
River dancing. We're going to be doing river dance yoga. Okay. And bring it back to the center now. What does that feel like? Are you feeling tingling?
Yeah.
Doesn't that feel good?
Circulation.
I know. Even in my arms, I can feel it. It really wakes everything up.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I have to admit, kudos to Jenny. I just took part in a chair yoga class this morning at a place that I'm going to be teaching. And Jenny is one of my former teachers, and she did this morning. I thought that is brilliant. I've got to bring that to Shelley and Chris and Pam. So,
Okay,
cool.
thank you.
You bet, you bet. All righty. So let's start out with the arms from our goddess pose again. Going to come back up to the upper body. I want you to give yourself a big hug with the left arm on top.
And we'd like to see which one's got left.
And then you're
The
going
other
to raise, that's what I tell my husband, raise the elbows up and drop the chin down. Nice little safe place for you to hang out here today. And then take the elbows around to the right. And come back to center. And take the elbows out to the left. And come back to center. Let the arms down and shake them. And Shelley, we're going to start coming up with a theme every week. This week's theme was resilience. So I'll have some readings at the end of class, and it's about being resilient. And this time, we're going to hug ourselves with the opposite arm. Now, the right arm is on top. Bring the elbows up, drop the chin down, bring those off to the left, and back to center, and then to the right, and back to center. Great. Go ahead and release. Scoot yourself back in your chair. Bring the right leg up. Point and flex, and point and flex. And then we're going to move into that figure 4. Feel free to modify with the block. So if you need to put the block under the lower foot to give yourself the right angle here, we don't want any pain. You know, stretching is good, but not pain. If that's too much of a challenge today, feel free to put the block next to your foot on the bottom and just do your figure 4 down here. You're still getting the benefit. So we'll do stories. And I'm going to ask you to just do some very light pushes on that knee, just very micro movements. Just feel the space opening up in the hip joint, creating a little bit of release for us. And then go ahead, and I think Chris said yesterday, this is our baby, so cradle your knee in your hand, cradle your foot in the other hand, lift it up just a ½ inch off. And we're just, again, micro movements, just moving it back and forth. Real small, tender movements. Great, and let it down. Other foot up on top. Keep the foot flexed to protect the knee. And again, we're just going to do a little push on that knee. Create a sense of space there. And then cradle your foot and your knee. Great. Then I'm going to have you move the glutes over to the right of your chair and push your right leg out to the side. You want to have the foot forward, and again, if you want the block for the foot that's staying under the chair, that's fine. Bring the right foot out. If you can have the foot flat on the floor, that's great. And then I'm going to have you slide your right arm down that foot, bring the left arm overhead, and go into a side stretch. Send the energy out through those fingers. Inhale, bring it up just slightly, and exhale, deepen into the stretch. See if you can go down a little further on the leg, a little deeper bend on the side. And back up. Come to the other side of the chair, we'll do that leg. And notice the difference between the sides today. If one is, that's a good, yeah, if you want to, you can even come down to the top of your foot if you want to let everything just go back. How does that feel? Does that help it relax?
Yeah.
Okay, great, yeah. All right, left hand goes down, right hand goes overhead. Notice any little cracks that are happening.
The mirrors of that hand.
Let's see, opposite direction. So, yeah, so that hand's going to slide down here. There you go. Now you got it. Yeah. Good form, you guys. You look good. And come back up. And we're going to do some full body releases. What I was just talking about with that tension, squeezing it in and letting it go. So we're going to come into a real tight little gorilla pose. So you'll have your fingers under your toes and your head down. So your nose is kind of wedged between your knees. Pull everything in, bend the elbows, bring the head down towards the feet. Inhale, and then as you exhale, we're going to do a big figure 5 as a star. Spread the toes, spread the fingers, bring the shoulders back, let everything open up. You don't get to do this very often as adults. And bring it all back in again, tight. And open it up.
Superstar.
Superstars. Look at this.
Molly, was it
I
Molly
need to take a
Shannon?
picture of
Yeah.
this.
Superstar.
Superstar. Yeah, we're gonna get some moves
I
here.
love it.
All right, great. Trying to keep my focus here with you guys.
Good luck.
All right, let's bring the hands up, so on opposite side of the elbows here. Bring the feet apart a little bit farther now, so we're about a foot apart. And again, we're gonna bring in slow motion. I want you to bring that elbow all the way around. Look down at the knees, make sure the knees are staying where they're supposed to. What are the shoulders doing? Bring the shoulders down. And are you breathing? A lot of times when we're trying to really perfect our movements, we forget to breathe. Come back to the center. Same thing. Inhale here. And come back to the center. One more time to the right. And back to center. So are you guys feeling it from doing weights with your arms yesterday? No, good, good. So we didn't overdo it. That's good. Good news. All right, and release it all out. Big shoulder circles. I want you to inhale as you come forward. Exhale. Push those shoulders back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. One more time. Inhale, big. Bring the shoulders up, but we don't usually want to mix to the ears, and drop them back down. And when you get to the bottom, alternate backwards now and up. Exhale as you come forward. Inhale back. Exhale up. Great. Okay, let's stand up and come to the back of our chairs. Work a little bit on the balance portion of this. So the same movements that we did before with our feet, we're going to do standing now. So look down, you want the feet about 8 inches apart, toes are facing straight forward. Grab a hold of the back of the chair, and without splaying the feet outward or the knees outward, I want you to come up on the balls of the toes and come up as high as you can. Sternum comes up, spine is high. Imagine you're coming up toward the top of the seat, top of the scalp. And hold, 3, 2, 1, and back down. And one more time, up, high, bring everything up tall. And down. Place your weight on your left foot. We're going to bring that right foot out to the side. Again, slowly keep the foot flexed. And it's better if you start leaning over like this, you're going too far. You're better to just stop where you can keep the upper body even and the hips are forward and the shoulders are forward. That's fine. We're really just working this area right here, and that works. You don't need to go all the way up for it to get a workout. So we're going to start at the center. Try to not lean. Keep the toes pointed a little bit downward towards the floor, heels up slightly. Work your way through some leg lifts here. Bring the right foot down. Get your weight centered on that right foot. Left foot. Heel up, toes are slightly down. Again, if you're starting to overdo to the side, bring the movement back to a smaller movement so that you can keep everything balanced and equal. So you're centered over that right foot and you're not leaning off to the side. All right. Turn so that your right hand is on the back of the chair. Again, the feet are parallel, and place the left hand on your hip with the elbow facing out. This will help with balance. I'm going to have you bring that right knee up, waist high with the foot flexed. Then point the toe and bring the leg forward. Bring it back, Flex the foot and bring it down. Slower is better here. Big breath in between. Inhale, bring that right knee up. Keep the foot flexed. Remember to breathe. Point the toe as you head the foot out towards the front. Notice the torso if you're starting to bend forward, correct? Bring it back to a bent knee and down. And pay attention this time to your left foot where your balance is. Notice how the foot's firing up and if there's any adjustments you need to make. Inhale, bring the knee up to waist height with the foot flexed. Point the toe, send that toe out towards the wall opposite you. And back to bend and down. Beautiful horse out there. Okay, bring it around to the left side. Spread the toes on the right foot, bring your balance to that foot, your weight to that foot. Inhale, lift the left knee up to waist height with the foot flexed. Point the toe, send the toe out towards the wall opposite you. Bend it back with the foot flexed and bring it down. Big breath in, out. Inhale, bring that knee up with the foot flexed. Point the toe, send that toe out to the wall in front of you. Watch your torso. Bring it back with the foot flexed and drop it down. And this time, bring your attention to the foot that's holding the weight. Notice what's happening there. Inhale, bring the knee up with the foot flexed. Point the toe. Straighten the leg. Bring it back and down. Bless you. Great. And walk it all out. Let's do some warrior poses here. We can use our chair. So we're going to start out with warrior one. So we're going to go back to the right hand on the chair. I'm going to have you bring your foot past the chair leg and right foot. Actually, okay, let me switch that, you guys. Right hand on the chair, so bring the left foot forward. Bring the right foot back so it's at a right angle to the front foot. And you want to be about 2.5 feet apart. Yeah, and Pam, bring your front foot towards me just a couple inches. There you go. Good. All right. And we're going to bend that front knee. You're going to bring the hips to the side so they're facing the same way that where your chair is. And then bring those arms up to the side. Check your arms. They should be straight out from your shoulders, not forward or backwards, not tippy, but straight out. So it's like a figure T. Look out through that front arm. Bring the weight of your front heel into the floor. Roll the weight on the back foot out towards the pinky. Inhale, straighten that front leg. Bring the hands overhead. Exhale back to warrior two. One more time. Inhale, palms up. Big exhale. Back to your warrior two. See if you can concentrate on feeling really grounded in this pose, like you're really supported by the earth and you're really strong. Right. Hold on to the chair. Bring that back foot around, so now it's facing forward. Actually, the toes are going to go out a little bit to a 45-degree angle. Back foot, yeah. So we're going to bring the hips were over here, facing the chair. Now we're going to swivel the hips same direction the front foot's going, and that back foot should be at about a 45-degree angle. If your hip's really open, you can do it right angle like Shelley's doing it. If that feels uncomfortable, sometimes it helps to have the foot facing forward. And you don't want the feet to be right in front of each other. So like you don't want them to be like this because you're going to be tippy. You want to have some have them be about hip distance apart, hip bone distance apart. And with that back foot facing forward a little bit, it's going to give you more ease, more movement. Okay, great. Once again, we're going to, and this time widen the stance just a little bit. If you can scoot that back leg back, so you should be about 3 feet apart, more space in this. So make sure the hips and the shoulders are facing forward. You might feel a little crinkle in the hip, in the spine when you do that. Go
So
ahead.
we switch sides.
No, we didn't switch
I
sides.
switched
Oh,
sides
good.
to be able to mirror her. 'cause I
Oh,
have-
okay.
Visually, I have
I
to.
get mixed.
Yeah.
I try to mirror you, but
Yeah.
I'm not right now.
That's okay, as long as you get both sides, I don't care which side you do first, just
Okay.
as long as you get both, that's fine. So we're gonna bend the knee on the front leg. You're gonna once again roll the weight onto the pinky side of the back leg. Inhale, bring the hands back. Exhale, bring it overhead. Clasp the hands, point the index fingers up. Now check your shoulders, they may need to roll down your back. Inhale, exhale, deepen the knee just a little bit, bring the hands back just a little bit. You'll feel some pressure in the back hip. If you've created a wide enough stance for yourself, it should not be uncomfortable. If you feel uncomfortable, move that back leg back a little bit. Bring the hands to heart center. And come back to face your chair. Very nice. Now we're going to place the left hand on the chair. Right foot's going to go out in front. Left foot's going to go back behind you about 3 feet. Again, try and bring the toes towards the front a little bit for more ease. There you go. Widen your stance just a little bit, Chris, if you can. Now take the hips, swell them so they're facing forward towards that front foot. The shoulders are facing forward as well. Bend that front knee. Inhale, bring the hands back. Exhale, bring them overhead. Clasp and extend the index finger. Soften the jaw. Inhale, come up just slightly. Exhale, deepen the front knee. Roll the weight onto the back foot. Pay attention to your core. Bring those belly muscles in if you need to. Bring those fingers back just a little bit more, like you're drawing a line backwards on the ceiling with your index fingers. And release. Beautiful. Come around to the front of the chair. And we're going to do a fun little exercise. I'm going to have you sit on the edge. And you want your feet to be hip bone distance apart. Really push down into the feet. We're going to bring the hands forward. And I want you to imagine that I'm coming and pulling your hands. And we're going to very slightly get up from that chair. So deep chair pose. Bring the hands to heart center. Concentrate on the breath. If it gets to be too intense, come up a little bit and come back down into it. Bring the hands back out in front and very slowly lower yourself down.
Trust
No
you.
plopping. Couple big deep breaths here. Feel free to check in with your breath and your heart, see how you're doing. Let's try that again. Bring the hands forward, bring the shoulders forward slightly. And again, imagine I'm pulling you up and you're just hovering just above the chair. Bring the hands to heart center. This always makes it easier. I don't know why. And move arms out back in front. Use those quads and hamstrings and come down slowly. Good job. That's a hard one. Good job. Do a seated eagle. We had some confusion with this yesterday with the right and the left. So we'll try and do this. We're going to start with the right leg. We're going to bring it over the left. And if it's in your practice, go ahead and feel free to hook that leg around the left ankle. So it's going to go over and around and back. And if not, no big deal. And then as we always do in eagle, if the right leg's on top, the left arm is on top. So the left arm comes up, the right arm snakes around underneath, and as close as you can get the palms together, the better. How's your spine? Bring that up, straighten the spine, bring the elbows up just a little bit. Bring it around to the right, bring the elbows around to the right. Exhale, bring it around to the center. Inhale around to the left. Exhale to the center. Big breath, raise the elbows just a little bit more. Draw the shoulders down. They want to come up when the elbows do. And untwist. Nice. Okay, other side. Right foot's on the floor. Left leg's going to go over and wrapped all the way around if you can. This time, left leg's on top, so that means the right arm goes on top. And this is the one I have a little trouble with because my shoulder. So feel free to do modifications. You can hook on to your thumb if need be. Straighten the spine up, bring the chest up, tuck the lower back in, raise those elbows. Big breaths. Go around to the left. Come back to center.
The other right.
It's okay. Like I said, as long as you get both sides, it doesn't matter which order. We just don't want you to walk out lopsided. And back and forth. Beautiful job. And release. Bring the legs apart. Bring your hands to your elbows and come to a forward fold. Drop your right hand onto the ground. Swing the left hand around for a twist towards the ceiling. And back, left hand on the ground, right hand swings around towards the ceiling. And back. With both your hands on the ground here and your knees pointed out same direction as your toes. I want you to lift those heels up as we did when we were standing. So right heel goes up, left heel goes up, alternate. Really giving the calves more of a workout today. Sometimes we forget about them. And now both heels at once. And when you're done, keep the head down, so the head's going to be the last thing to come up. I want you to roll yourself up and try and do it very slowly so that every vertebrae is involved. Keep the hands heavy down in between the legs. Very slowly start to bring the shoulders back as the head and the chin starts to rise. Let's do some head rolls here. Bring your right ear to your right shoulder. Drop it down. Left ear to left shoulder. Do some half moons. Stretch out the back of the neck. Okay, let's bring the chair to the end of your mat. And I'm going to have you lay on the ground, kind of as we did yesterday, with your calves on the chair. Yeah, feel free to use a blanket or a block under your lower back if you need it for support. You don't want that arch of your back to be up from the mat. So lift your hips up, tilt the pelvis towards the ceiling like we're doing bridge pose, and drop the lower back down onto the mat so it's flat on the mat. By the same token, pay attention to the shoulders and bring those back to the mat. If they're curved upwards, bring them back. Bring the chest and the sternum forward, drop the shoulders back so the entire back is flat and supported on the mat. I'm going to have you lift the right leg pointed up towards the ceiling. Bend the foot, or flex it, bend the knee slightly, bring it off to the side, just a little bit. And back to center, straighten and point towards the ceiling. Flex the foot, bend the knee a little bit. So it's like we're almost doing frog legs to the side. And up, and bend and flex, and to the side, and back to center, and bring it down.
That felt good.
Did it good. That was for you, Shelley.
Thank you.
Point the left toe towards the ceiling. Flex the foot and the knee. Bend it just slightly. Bring it off to the left. About halfway down. Back to the center. Point and bring it down. Again, point the foot up towards the ceiling. Flex the foot. Bend the knee slightly. Bring the knee off to the left. To the side, back to center, up to the ceiling, and down. One more time, point that toe up towards the ceiling, flex the foot, bend the knee slightly, bring the knee over to the left, back to the center, point it up to the ceiling, and bring it down. Place your hands on your belly. And practice tightening and releasing the core. So we talk a lot about using our core muscles to support our back, but see if you can really feel the difference between when you're just kind of letting everything be slack down there and when you're really engaging. So this pelvic floor is one of the most important areas to strengthen in our yoga practice, because a lot of our balance comes from our core, a lot of our strength comes from our core. And a lot of times when we have injuries, it's because our core isn't strong enough. So we're doing like some little isometric movements here. So with your hands on your belly, I'm going to tighten it. You'll feel your hands come down and then release, the hands will come up. And just do some little mini inward sit-ups here. This also helps with incontinence, so. Okay. Bring the hands out to the side with the palms up. Inhale, bring them overhead to meet above your face, arms straight. Exhale, slowly bring them down to the side. Inhale, bring them up above the face. Exhale, bring them down. Inhale, like you're doing a big clap. Exhale. This is for the chest muscles. This is to keep everything tight at the top of the torso. Inhale up. Exhale and down. Going to have you clasp your hands behind your skull and the top of the neck. Elbows are out to the side. And we're going to do some little pulsing motions with the upper torso. And you're bringing your chin up towards the ceiling rather than towards your knees. So it's a very small movement. You're just bringing the back of the head up, maybe at the most 3 inches above the mat. And we're just pulsing up and down. You're going to feel it at the top of the ribs, breast muscles. Work your breath with it. This is a good place to do breath of fire. If you exhale as you come up, you automatically inhale as you come down. Great, rest and release the arms for a minute. Once again, bring the hands to the back of the skull, interlace the fingers, elbows are out. This time, we're going to bring the right elbow towards the left knee. You're only going to come up about 6 inches and bring it down. Left elbow comes up to the right knee and down and alternate back and forth. We're getting the obliques on the side of the torso. Again, not a big movement. You only have to come up 4 to 6 inches with the elbow. Great, and bring it on down. I want you to stretch your arms overhead and stretch everything from the waist up. Really concentrate. Pull the ribs upward, the belly's in. Bring the shoulders up, the elbows are moving outward, the fingers are going towards the long into your mat. And release it down. Place your right hand on your belly, your left hand on your heart. Send some love to your body for all the work it's doing for you, all the flexibility it has. And we're going to push that chair away and scoot back up onto our mat. Bring your heels next to your glutes. Place your block between the legs, between the thighs. Imagine that you're turning the thigh muscles and you're going to push that block out between the thighs down towards your feet. So you're actually, and feel free to use your hands and rotate those muscles inward. That's going to give you the proper alignment for your hips and your knees. Lift the hips up and tuck the back under again if necessary. But imagine that you're shooting that block out towards the feet. Now pay attention to the feet. You don't want the toes turned outward or inward pigeon-toed. You want them coming straight out from the ankle. A straight line, like from your hips out. Once again, check the shoulders. Are they on the mat where they need to be? I'm going to ask you to push down with your palms and inhale and very slowly start to bring those pelvic bones, hip bones up towards the ceiling into bridge pose. Shoot the knees out towards the wall in front of you, and you're rolling back onto the tops of your shoulders. The neck should not be involved at all. Your neck and your jaw should be nice and loose and soft. Everything's on the shoulders. Yogi's choice. If you want to clasp your hands under your torso today, feel free to. Open the shoulders up more. Exhale. Bring the hips back down. Readjust, make sure the lower back's against the mat. Hands on the ground again, palms down. You're really going to push through the hands. Inhale, bring those hip bones up towards the ceiling. Shoot the knees forward, roll back onto the shoulders for your bridge. This time, imagine somebody's got their hands under your back and they're helping you come up. See if you can bring it up just an inch or two higher than you did last time. And release it all down. Remove the block, bring the knees into your chest, and rock back and forth. Give a little massage to that lower back. If it's in your practice today, bring the feet up and come into happy baby, holding onto the outside of the feet, or if that feels a little too much today, feel free to hold on to the arches on the inside of the feet for dead bug pose, but continue to roll back and forth. Bring the feet down, place them on either side of the mat so the knees are far apart, and windshield wiper the knees back and forth. And we're gonna do a little adjustment here. So I'm gonna ask you the next time you get your knees so they're off to the left side, I want you to try and push that left knee down towards the mat. And I'm gonna come around and give you a little stretch. Just bring your legs over to the right, or excuse me, there you go, there you go. Can you bring this foot back, the other direction? Releasing. Now concentrate on releasing. Breathe into those leg muscles. Let those knees drop onto the floor as much as they will for you today. And when you're ready, bring the knees up and roll them over to the other side. So now the right knee is trying to reach the mat. Bring them back to center. And I'm going to ask you for today's pose, we're going to put the calves back up, final pose, we're going to put the calves back up on your chair. So kind of a close version to legs of the wall. We need an extra person to move furniture. Great. Scoot your hips in so that your legs from the hips to the knees are kind of perpendicular to the floor.
So I need to bring more.
A little bit that way, exactly. Yeah. And that's going to help your back engage too. There you go. Good job. Arms out to the side if that feels good today. Open everything up. And let the feet fall to the side. Your goal in this final pose is to let go of any effort that you may be still using. You don't need to hold the legs up. They're going to be there on their own with gravity. You don't need to do anything with your torso. It's fully supported by the ground. And your head doesn't need to be doing anything in your neck. Just let it all go. Pay special attention around your eyes and around your jaw, because that's where we tend to really hang on to any tension that we may be feeling. And so our theme for this week was resilience, about how we can bounce back from difficulty, or how we can have expectations that difficulty is just going to be part of life, and that we want to develop the best skills that we can to deal with it and not be reactive. And that's one of the places where yoga really helps us, because as we work through difficult poses, we find we're judging ourselves, we're judging our body, it's not doing what we want it to do, it's frustrating, it's challenging. But if we can let go of all that and just notice what's going on without assigning it a good or a bad quality, just notice, oh, today my hip's a little wonky. Oh, today my mind won't shut down. And just notice where you are. And the nice thing about yoga is you can sit in those uncomfortable poses and positions and get comfortable with it. And that helps us out in the world when we're dealt a difficult person or situation to be able to sit with the discomfort and not react. You can do it. If you're pained by external things, it is not they that disturb you, but your own judgment of them. And it is in your power to wipe out that judgment now. And focus on success. The secret of success is a constancy of purpose. That was by Benjamin Disraeli. The first one was by Marcus Aurelius. Maintain your priorities. Take the time to consider the definition of a happy life and write down all the words that occur to you. Keep this list somewhere prominent to remind you to persist with your goals. We need a stable, strong vessel to carry us over the sea of samsara, life's turbulent cycles. Let asanas or poses be your boat, balancing your body, centering your mind and emotions, and cultivating the energy to ride life's storms. And the saying that I wrote on the board this week is that smooth seas do not make skillful sailors. That's an old African proverb. And one of my favorites that I read yesterday by Confucius, Down and Up. Our greatest glory is not in ever falling, but in rising every time we fall. And stoke your inner fire. To maintain your zest for life in a hectic world, stoke the fire in your belly that cultivates your sense of drive with challenging asanas such as boat pose. I'm practicing resilience. And one thing I wanted to share with you to try at home is a vital focus exercise. In order to turn our convictions into reality, we must be resilient enough to bounce back from any setbacks along the way. The ability to remain focused is essential in this quest. Practice candle gazing to increase your focus. And I'm going to share with you what candle gazing is. It's a nice thing to do at night. It's called Tratak. This exercise uses an object of focus to still the mind, deepening yoga practice and helping you to maintain concentration. Sit in a quiet place about 3 feet in front of a lit candle. Straighten your spine and be mindful of your breathing. Then concentrate on the flame, gazing intently at it until your eyes begin to water slightly. Then close your eyes and visualize the flame in your mind's eye for 2 minutes to develop inner focus. Open your eyes ever so slightly, becoming aware of a simultaneous inner and outer focus. And then finally, dear ladies, open your eyes. Begin to move your body in any way that feels comfortable to start to wake yourself up. Be mindful that you are on a chair as you come off.